Yeah, it's a weird time right now. And for anyone else looking in the Tampa Bay area, anything that's kind of been affected and hit by the storms are going at like a 0.65%. If they're everyone's paying attention to the flood zones, I mean you could still wholesale, just gotta obviously be lesser with that percentage. I mean, if it's not in a flood zone, hasn't been affected, and you're still good with the 0.75 or point 0.7. But yeah, pretty much stuff like that's been affected, areas that have, gotten flooded with the two storms. They're pretty much going for pennies on the dollar currently. It's a weird time. Like, properties worth 600,000 when they're renovated, that got flooded and they're only selling for like low twos. It's weird right now. That being said, anyone else have any questions? Anything, I'm not sure if you guys are all focusing, me or Eric's market, but if you guys are focusing that just keep that in mind. Especially for Florida, PA, you're fine. I mean, you can still do what you're doing. But if you guys are in a different market or if you have any questions, just let me know. Let's see, I'm gonna share my screen here. Hopefully everyone's having a good week so far. But yeah, anyone else have anything that want to have questions on? You could let me know. Put it in Zillow, put it on PropStream. If you're starting out, I mean, it's a good time to good time to learn. Right now, I would say first things first is picking your market. That's the biggest thing. I would recommend always start in your backyard. It's always good to start in your backyard, unless it's like a crazy. Depends on the market, but if it's a normal market, if it's not like New York, let's say, where there's $1 million homes all over the place. You're definitely, it's good to start in your backyard, learn the market, build a buyer's list, and once you do that, you're good to start, dialing away, calling agents, calling, for sale by owners, and seeing if you can make some deals happen. Yeah, so I hope me myself, I mainly wholesale. So I'm always calling on, it could be for sale by owners, calling for rents, seeing homes in nice neighborhoods and decent neighborhoods that are distressed, calling on skip tracing, calling them, seeing what the situation is. Just that's what I've been doing pretty much, when I was with Eric and when I wasn't, and obviously to now when I'm kind of working on my own. But yeah, anyone have any questions? Um, Anything they want to say? I should record some of my calls. I called this one. Um, it was this one house right in like 2 minutes from where I'm at currently, and I was basically, it's her husband's family home. Like, it's a probate, it's an estate. Sorry, not it's an estate. But I found out that they completed probate. They do want to sell, all that kind of stuff. So I had that conversation. I tried calling on Wednesday, no answer, but I was able to get a hold of the wife um, of the the husband whose parents own that property. And yeah, she kind of gave me the whole rundown and stuff like that. So it was a good conversation, and it's always nice hearing when people actually want to get rid of the property. So I'm looking to gonna call her back today. See if when I could get her husband, because I mean, obviously, that's the main decision maker there, the husband. Like, what exactly does he want? Yes, they want to sell, both want to sell, but what does he want, for the property? And I already have my comps kind of already, like, I know what it's going to be worth when it's fixed up, so just having to explain that situation to them. um uh I don't really, I do off market, so like when I'm usually calling properties, they're not even listed. So I mean, back
Sure.
then, yes. As of right now, no. That's just me. Someone sent this address in Lehighton. I think I looked at this the other day. Who was this? This was Tim. You sent this right? This address in Lehighton.
Yeah, I called her yesterday.
So I got some updates on it. It needs actually, can you just give me 1 second?
Yeah. Forget what I said the air. I think I said the ARV was like 180, something like that. I think it was that. I think if I remember correctly, I think he had to be around 90.
Yeah, I think it's going to take a little bit more work than what we discussed because I think we discussed like 45 to 50.
Yeah.
But after talking to her, I mean, it's a 3-1. The only bathroom is on the second floor, so I was talking to her. I'm like, listen, you got to add you got to add a half bath to the first floor. You know, and I mean, so we were talking about it. She's like, oh, they won't go below 120. I was like, well, whatever. But you got to add a bathroom to the first floor. I would probably move the washer and dryer to the second floor where all the bedrooms are at.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's 3 bedrooms on the second floor, but you have to actually go through one of the bedrooms to get to the bathroom. So you're going to kind of have to rearrange the layout a little bit upstairs, which means ripping out that plaster. And when that plaster starts coming down, it doesn't stop. So I mean, so it's going to be a little bit more work than probably 50.
Okay. And obviously you had that conversation with her. I mean, you said the agent said, told you that the seller's kind of stuck at that 120 mark.
Well, she was, but I started talking her down. I'm like, listen, you got to add a half bath here. You got to rearrange the second floor. You got to do this. You got to do that. I mean, she's an older woman, and so she's actually already out of the property. She moved in with her kids. So, and she was telling me that they don't want to carry this property through the winter.
Gotcha. So, I mean, there's some motivation there. They would want to move, before winter starts, probably sell before the new year. So, I mean, that's good. But again, it's just like, I don't, with their situation, I don't know. Because, I mean, if you're saying more than 50, I mean, obviously that does seem like more than 50. The work you explain, I mean, you might have to be way lower. Obviously, I just don't know if they would be willing to take that because it depends on, what their mortgage is and, what they're actually trying to net when it's all said and done.
Well, I don't think there was a mortgage, but I mean, I think.
Okay.
I don't know. It's kind of tough to tell because I mean, some person might be able to actually get it done for 50, but somebody might be like, oh well, I think it needs 80. I mean, it's a pretty large gap. So I don't know. I'll give her a call today and see what she says.
Yeah.
I mean,
and it's not the thing, and you have those other people who can get, obviously get a mortgage on it, because it's still livable. It's not like it's not livable. So it's like, that they're looking for someone like that. That's kind of what you're up against. Like sure, will they take 70 and 80 if they don't have anybody? Possibly, but again, there's people that might offer 100, FHA or conventional, and be able to, and they're okay with the current setup. So it's always, it's always tough when it's like that. When they can get, a loan, when it's, when a property is able to get a loan on it, you have like those types of obstacles to fight against that you're up against. All
right, yeah. I mean, like I said, I'll just give her a call. I think I think it might be a tough sell because I mean, you don't, like I said, I mean, not having a bathroom on the first floor is kind of a big deal. I mean, you buy a house and the second time you use the stairs because you have to use the bathroom and it gets old real quick.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see here, Joe. You have this one in. Which one do you not want me to look at this one on Dakota Avenue?
I'm looking through. Let's do. I guess this one I'm currently with, the second one on Azora, that was just taken off of market recently, and I've been communicating back and forth with her, and they had some water damage recently. That's why it was taken off market, and I asked her. She was pretty much wanting me to, I guess just cover the commission and closing costs, but all I can say is I don't even know if $900 a month would cover her mortgage and allow her to buy a replacement home. Plus, you would need to cover commission costs or anything. But if you can't do that, there's nothing more to discuss. But I don't know. I saw this on one of our listings a while ago, and I don't know how much damage they had to the house. She's not really giving me any much information, so I'm just trying to see if there's a play on it or not.
Yeah, gotcha. Did she tell you kind of like how much? Like you said, your offer was like 900, a month. Like, do you know what her mortgage balance was? What her payments were? No, she didn't.
She
Agent.
was kind of a stiffler agent, not really wanting to tell me. I
With
guess
that.
everything about the property.
I mean, I could look and see. Just it only gives an estimate. See,
Sure.
kind of something to work with here. Let's see. I'm just waiting for it to load here. All right, there we go. All right, let's see. We got a balance of it's saying 152. Again, it could be off by a little bit here, so just keep that in mind. But there's obviously that one mortgage that's there. Saying here her rates are like under 3%. It was taken out in 2021. I'm seeing an estimated loan payment of 671. Again, that could be off by a little bit. So let's say worst, best case, 5, worst case 7. Who knows, or maybe a little bit more. I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say, but like we don't know if the taxes and insurance are included in this payment. They cannot be. If that's the case, then I'm assuming a home like this is probably like two grand, like almost 3 grand in tax. Yeah. Saying 3,600, so 3,600, you obviously got to add the insurance to that. So let's say, 45, maybe a little bit less than 4,500 a month, divide that by 12 and then add that to your payment. And then, so she's only, let's say I'll do that right now. 4,500 divided by 12, 375. So 375, and then obviously, again, we don't know if the taxes and insurance are included or not. But it's again 671. So let's say we'll play 700. So it's at let's say a little over $1,000, and then if you're offering 900, then yeah, that's probably something that doesn't really float their boat. But again, I'm just going off of estimates and assumptions here. We really don't know.
Let's see.
Anything else you need me to like? I mean, I don't know. It's always hard to kind of give like the only thing I could really do is just kind of go over the rents and see what you could really rent this out for. I mean, I could do that with you real quick and
I was gonna try to rent it out for around like 1,900 or so. But I was curious if you could maybe help me call her, I guess, or help just, I guess for me to listen on
yeah.
the call.
Um, yeah, I could do that. Let me see here. What's kind of low. I mean, what's the house? Let's see. We have a pool, which is nice. 3, 2, 14. Okay. All right. Let's see. This one's 1,800. 1,800 looks pretty clean. Obviously, it does. We don't know what it's gonna go for, but they're asking 1,829 a month. This one here, 17. Flooring, kitchen, bath look decent. They're asking 17. So probably like conservative. Like there's another one. 6. Oh, this one's 17. This one's kind of far away, but like over in this direction. Let's see. That's over. Where were we? Were we north of Northcliff Boulevard? Yeah, we were. I mean, either way, I would say like probably like a 1,700, 16 to 1,700. This is what 1,625 would get you.
Now we're looking for similar comps for rent, or does the square footage is 1,442, 3 bed, 2 baths. So
Okay. Oh yeah. So this one was 1,000. This one was 1,200. I mean, conservatively, like 1,700 should be what you can get. All right. Let me see. I mean, hopefully, let me see here.
okay.
I'm trying to look to see. Do you have her number? Right
I do, yeah. I'll read it off real quick.
All right, hold on.
Okay. 352.
Wait, 1 second here. Let me just. Okay. So 352.
650.
Mm-hmm.
62469. Her name is Cheryl.
Cheryl. Okay. You want me to treat it cold, I guess, right? Or
maybe going as my partner, that might help. If you don't mind.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'll try calling twice, hopefully she answers but you never know.
Good morning, this is Cheryl.
Hi Cheryl, how you doing? My name's Terrell. You were in contact with my partner Joe on the property in Spring Hill on Azure Road.
Yeah, and as I said to him, I'm actually in the middle of another appointment, but as I said to him,
Okay.
Unless she can pay all the closing costs, she cannot afford that, and I don't even know if $900 a month would cover her mortgage, and she's withdrawn it because she doesn't intend to sell it at this point. So.
So she's not trying to sell anymore, or?
No, it's withdrawn.
Okay. Okay. All right. I wasn't sure. I mean, yeah. Okay. Sorry about that. Yep. Bye. All right. She hung up before you could even hang up. All right. So it's not for sale anymore.
We get it. Yeah. I do appreciate the help and, good learning experience moving forward. Just, that's what happens. So.
Yeah. No worries. Just on to the, big 4-letter word, guys. Just on to the next, just next. So, it could be a deal, could not be a deal. If it's not a deal, it's, don't dwell too long on it. Just on to the next one, You spend too much time on one deal, trying to chase a deal, you might be missing other ones too. So, it's all right. It happens. It's not for sale anymore. I mean, you could always, I don't know the full entirety of the situation. So obviously it's not like there's a need to sell any longer. They might just, maybe keep it as a rental. I don't know what their game plan is, because obviously the agent was short with me. But if you want to follow up maybe in a few months, possibly, it's up to you. Skip trace, call the owner here, Robin, because she got deeded the property in last year from Terry. So Terry gave it to Rob. Okay, so yeah, so there's a quick claim deed. So Robin's the full owner here. So you could always give Robin a call, skip trace, go direct to her and see if, what she would want to do moving forward. But that's currently, as the agent just said, it's not currently on her mind right now.
I was going to say too, this has kind of happened with a bunch of other leads that I've had, kind of text blasts from realtors and for sale by owners, but I've maybe had 5 or 10. I've just given addresses that are either off market or on market, and I have some that are kind of shopping offers. That happens a lot, though, I've realized. So I'm just trying to position myself, I guess, to. I'm still working on trying to get that first deal, but just.
Yeah, no, it's gonna. I mean, obviously, it's a lot of hoops to jump, especially when you're on market. I mean, I've done. Trust me, I dealt with it. Just on market. I prefer off market because, again, you're direct to seller. There's no quote unquote gatekeeper, and you don't have to hope and pray that the agent is saying backing up what you're saying. So with that's. But again, everyone has to start pretty much on market to kind of get that full experience. In that understanding of how to conversate with agents. But again, it's just sometimes it's just tough for me personally. Always presenting creative finances, especially, it's even harder. That's why I don't even like doing it with agents. I mean, it's obviously something I got to get better at myself to maybe just do a better job convincing the agent. But the way how I work my deals, when I'm calling off market, if cash doesn't work, then I try that creative option. And if that doesn't work, because they're most of the situations, seller needs an X amount to do whatever they want to do, they don't want to take payments, then I go the listing route, and I have one of my guys out in Florida or PA list the home for me, wherever it's located. That's how I work my stuff. All right, so there's another one in Palmerton here.
Yeah, I was wondering, Florida one, Spring Hill. You think it's a good offer to go for a $900 payment and try to rent it out for $1,900?
So I would say conservatively, 1,700 is probably what you could get. It was a pretty clean house. I don't have it up right now currently, but it was a pretty clean house. So I think 1,700 can get the job done. I think with Joe, I think her pay with everything, it might be $900 is not even it's not even worth her time. Is kind of what the agent explained to me, and she was kind of short with me since she was at a meeting, so I couldn't really get much out of her. But I mean, that's you know, we probably if you could get 1,700, you could probably offer her maybe 12, you know, and maybe that might entice her. But at the same time, you know, the agent said that that's not on her mind anymore, referring to the seller, and that's why it's not no longer listed.
Okay, so writing up that offer and sending it would be worth it.
One more time.
Writing up that offer, like drafting it up and sending it over, would not be worth it.
Yeah, not currently right now, not be worth it. Maybe if we offered, like, you know, maybe if Joe offered a little bit more payment wise, it would have been more enticing. But I mean, he started at 9, so that wasn't enticing enough. So, and then plus 2, I guess maybe they weren't getting any interest or whatever, you know, it could be X, Y, or Z. I really don't know why the listing was pulled. But yeah, just
I think like calling her up and trying to pitch sub 2 as a cold call would be another way.
Yeah, you could always do that. You don't have to go this in this case, you know, we're you don't have to no longer have to go through the agent. So if you want to skip, I forget I think her name is Robin or whatever. So if you want to skip Trace and, you know, talk to Robin, then yeah, she might be open to it. But again, you know, she pulled the listing. It's not like the agent pulled the listing, it's she pulled the listing, so she might not even be wanting to sell anymore. So their motivation is wrong there. But I mean, again, it's you know, it's up to whoever wants to, you know, spend the 2 minutes trying to reach her, you know, to see if that is you know, a possibility.
Okay, yeah. Wondering, so just do a deal if you can.
One more time.
Just do a deal with the direct.
Yeah, I always I would always suggest trying to go direct to owner. In this case, that you can, you know, with that one. But again, it's like, you know, as the agent was short, but it basically explained to me that, you know, that's you know, she's not really that motivated to sell any longer. So, but yeah, in the future, I mean, yeah, if you want to go direct, you definitely do that. You know, there's no agreement in place anymore.
Okay, I was trying to confirm if it was worth writing it up and like the route to go.
Yeah, I mean, it's a toss up because again, she pulled the seller no longer wants to sell. So sure, you could try to skip Trace and call the owner, but will she give you the time of day? I don't know. We don't know. She pulled the listing, so she no longer wanted to list the property. So that might not even be on her mind anymore. She has other stuff. I don't know what it is, but again, it's a call. You know, if you really wanted to make, you can, and see what that seller Robin thinks.
And then like sent the offer. Let's say we like 9 days, whatever, and then she comes back, and then it comes available. You think that's a good way to go?
I missed the front part. I heard all I basically heard was becomes available. Can you say that again?
Yeah. So just trying to check, man, if it would be worth sending the offer to her and then just do the $900 payment. What if she changes her mind in a month? Or like 2 months go by, that offer sits in her email, she thinks about it, she's like, maybe I will take that $900 a month. Would it be worth just sending it anyway? In that case?
Yeah, I mean, I said it's a toss up. You can or you can't. I mean, it's up to you. If you want, my thing, like, you know, it's not on my radar right now. If I was, you know, you or Joe or whatever, that's not on my radar right now to try to pursue. If you want to pursue it, you can and see what happens and submit an offer and, you know, go the sub 2 route and see what, you know, see how the call goes. But for me, if this was me and I was in Joe's shoes, I mean, I'm on to the next one. I don't really care because as of right now, she's not really motivated, and I don't know how the full extent of the you know, creative finance offer went, but I mean, I'm assuming it probably didn't go too well for her liking, the seller's liking, and that's, I mean, could have been one of the reasons that, I mean, maybe that was the only offer at the table. I really don't know.
So if I just tell the agent, I'm like, hey, look, I'm just going to send you the offer, just hold in your inbox, just hit me up if anything changes, and then dead the lead kind of thing?
I mean, in this case, the agent's no longer in contact with kind of like gatekeeping the seller, so you could go direct to the seller and be like, hey, you know, it's up to you.
All right, yeah, I was just wondering if it's worth putting another 15 minutes into or not.
It's if you want to, you can. If not, it's onto the next.
It's a little out of my market, so it probably won't be worth it.
Yeah,
I like what you said about like you drive through Clearwater often, like you're close to that area. You don't like going on to like Newport Richie if you don't have to, or like
yeah. Spring Hill is deep. I don't know, probably like an hour and a half. I'm all the way, closer to Madeira Beach. So, I mean, it's a hike, and not many people buy up in Spring Hill like that. Um, that I know. I mean, my buyers personally. I mean, my buyers would stay like south of Newport Richie. They buy in Newport Richie, but it's still a hike. But yeah, Spring Hill is a little bit north of that.
Yes, got it, man. Appreciate it.
Sounds good. All right, so I have to take off. I'll call this property later. Okay. Good morning. All right, Tennessee. Can you see how much you get for Airbnb? I got around 75. Okay. All right, I will copy the address here and give it a look and see what we can do. All right. It's a 2-1. It's a little shack, I guess, a little bungalow style home. Great investment. No wholesalers, please as is. Needs a new roof, some wood replacement. The exterior prices been on the market for 262 days. I mean, it must be a seller who doesn't want to go lower on price. I mean, 262. I mean, I don't know when the last price drop was. Back in end of September, they dropped 10K. But yeah, let's see what we get here. Right, sold. And you said you got around like 200, or sorry, you got around 75,000 for ARV. If that's the case, I mean, it got to be lower than that. I mean, the home looks like it needs some decent work here. All right, what are you on? Chelsea Avenue? Are we right on that? Kind of right by. It looks like railroad tracks, which is not ideal. I mean, no one wants to live right by a railroad track. Let me see if there's no street view either. That's fun. Okay. Let's get these photos quick. Yeah, this would probably take about, I mean, it's a small house, maybe 40K should get the job done. Between 40 and 60 depends. Maybe just meet in the middle of say 50K. All right, but let's go to 2 bedrooms. I mean, we can't really expand it. It's gonna have to be 2 bedrooms max. I'm gonna high to low here. That's a duplex selling for 105. This looks like another duplex possibly for 85. Let me see. Let's double check that. I know in like this Tennessee, or maybe, okay, maybe it was at one point because it looks like there was another door here, but maybe they converted. Yeah, freshly painted 3-2. It probably was a duplex at one point because I know sometimes they do like door here and door there. It's a 1-1. But okay, so 3-2. Sold for 85,000. So like, see, like it was a duplex at one point. This one on Fairfax, because this one's a duplex here. You can see 2 different doors. So right here, so duplex. So it's okay. So each one is a 2-1. Okay. All right. All right. So this one would be a great example. Possibly looks kind of like ours. Looks pretty much exactly like ours. You see that? So that would be a potential flipper here. And they only sold that one. I don't know the square footage, but I mean, probably similar, definitely really similar. Let's see what they bought it for. It's always a good example. So they sold theirs for 58,000 in August of 2023. They bought it for 28K. I don't know how much work it needed, but this is what it looked like exterior wise, like a year and a half ago. So, so there's that. I don't know if it will be as high. I mean, just based off that example, I'm not sure if it will be as high as 75. I mean, again, that was last year at 58,000. Here's another one at 50,000. So, I mean, I don't think it's going to be higher than. I don't think it's going to be at 75. This one, no flip, sold for 50. So probably like maybe 60, the highest you could sell this one for when it's all said and done. So if you do the math there, probably going to be right where this flipper bought that blue house at, which was 20 something. But we'll say I mean, I don't know if the value's been up that much. I mean, we only have. Let me just play the 60 because I mean, I'll play 60.75. We're at 45K. I mean, I'm assuming this home you're gonna have to at least put 40K into this home. If it needs a new roof, that's gonna cost you like probably like 10 to 12. Flooring, kitchen, bathroom. I mean, yeah, I mean, I mean, this person got it done for 20. I mean, maybe it could be. Wait, yeah, maybe. I mean, maybe it could be at like 15 and try to see if you can move it for 20. I mean, that's still really. It's probably it's only gonna be like 10 or 15 is what you could really offer on that property. Let me see. Bella, I don't know if you're still there or not, but I would say like I don't see a $75,000 ARV. I'm seeing like more like a 60,000 based off this comp here. You may have missed it before. There's a 2-1 1480 Locust Street. Same exact comp. This one's similar, but I mean it's not. It's not. It wasn't flipped. This one's another one that looks kind of similar to ours. We don't know what it looks like. Maybe it's sold off market. Yeah, it's sold off market for 60. We don't know the condition, but I'm assuming. I mean, this one, we could clearly see it was renovated. So, 60, 65, whatever you want to call it, but 65 is what I would say max. But yeah, maybe like starting out at like, between 10 or 15 is where you want to offer. If you could hear me. All right.
Thank you.
Yep. All right. So we got this one in Dakota Avenue. So be inserted. Maybe they're open to a fix and flip loan if they have 350 up. For cash, yeah, something about possible for a second home for owners. Okay. All right. Let me just see what exactly you want me to do with this one, Joe?
I was just kind of wanting to give you some information on it, like a rundown, but it's currently off market, but it's listed with the realtor. This is just another property she sent me, and I'm not sure if. I guess I was going to ask you, what would the value be of this home if their retail buyers are going for land value, if it's like a land value home or.
Yeah. Let me see. Yeah. I didn't. Let me go back to your thing. I mean, I didn't comp it out for. I mean, there's no pool, right?
No, yeah, there's no pool. Yeah.
A pool. Okay, so
Everything was gutted out though. She sent me videos and pictures of it.
Yeah, then it would probably be like if you had a pool in Shore Acres, if it was at least a 3.2, 4.2 with 1,800 square feet with a pool, you're gonna be like mid sixes. You don't have a pool, you're not you're not a waterfront property, so it's probably like lower sixes. So you're pretty. I mean, I could look at it, at the ARV to double check, but I just know it's gonna be around this just based off experience with comping some homes in there with that same square footage. But yeah, 600, maybe like anywhere from like 580 to like 605 or 610 is where you're gonna get
For the ARV, yeah, because she was saying 6 would be conservative. And
so right now, if this, I mean, I'm assuming this probably got like 2 feet of water. They ripped out, all the drywall, the flooring, all that kind of stuff. I mean, right now, the home like this is probably to be
get comfortable.
Sorry, hold on one sec. To be like enticing for any of my buyers or any other buyer, like any Facebook marketplace or not Facebook marketplace, anyone in the Tampa Bay real estate, area, they would probably buy this property at anywhere from like 200 to like 230. I would say that's how much it's going to be worth currently.
For a retail buyer to pay 230 around 3 because of where it's at there, right?
One more time.
Or because of retail buyer doesn't want to pay that full price.
Right now, you're not going to get any. You're gonna. Well, sorry, yeah. I guess it's sort of like a retail buyer. Yeah, I can't even talk. Retail investor. So I mean, really, any investor really is going to pay. I would say anywhere from 200 to 230 on something like this. I had a property I was trying to move for a Discord person in. I would say a week and a half ago, and it was waterfront. It was a 3.2, I think 1,700 square feet, but it was had a pool. pool was basically shot because of the storm. It was all, you know, green, black, and it was like on the water as well. Like probably I would say it was on Carson Street. So wherever Carson Street is on here, I'm assuming Carson Street would be right around. Where did I? Sorry, it's like right here should be Carson. Yeah, right here. The property was like right over here. So it had a pool. It was waterfront. You could go out to the water and eventually get to you know, the ocean here and stuff like that. And I got a sight unseen offer for 225. Probably the guy could have came up a little bit more, but again, it was a 3-2, it's about 1,700 square feet. Maybe he could get a little bit higher, but like if you look at the comps, I mean, there's stuff going for it's gonna sell in the 200s. Anyone buying something like this is gonna buy it around the 200s. No one's buying anything higher than that. If you look for the sold, if you look to like, maybe we'll push this to like 2,000 square feet max with sold within the past 30 days, and then you'll see kind of what I'm seeing here. Anything that has been flooded. Let me just go back here. So I saw, let me see. So here we go. So for example, like this one, this should have been selling at like 4 or something. This was probably flooded. You'll see it there. So this was 255, 1,500 square feet. Wasn't on the water. I don't know if it has a pool or not. We'll probably see the thing. This property has flood damage, Hurricane Helene, blah blah blah. So a flipper, someone bought this for 255. So that's a perfect example. There's another one. This one was probably anything here was flooded. If you go to the Zillow, you go to map, you go to flood, you click on flood here. This whole blue area, that everything was flooded. So that's why you're gonna, like I said, like, you know, I mean, any investor is gonna pay under 240 for this. And again, we have 3 examples. If I zoom out a little bit more, you could probably see a few more.
Sure.
But yeah, that's kind of what I've been experiencing currently with anything that's been you know, damage. So 270, 255, 260. I mean, here's 235. This one's 130. I wonder what this one was. A 3.2 for 1,000 square feet. I'm assuming we're gonna see flood damage. Oh, it was sold off market. So that's, I mean, someone contacted this owner off market and was able to get a deal at a crazy price. But yeah, I mean, that's where you have to be at. You know, obviously the sellers don't want to hear that, because again, they probably paid X amount for the home. But I mean, that's kind of what they're going for right now.
I guess I was gonna ask if it's. I think her name is Stephanie or Denise. Somebody on our team sent me that. We've been in contact, but is there maybe a way just to, I guess, kind of, you know, be transparent and let her know this is where the market's sitting at right now, and just kind of letting them know, because I don't know if
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. It's like, hey, look, you know, I'm in the business to, you know, to obviously, you know, make money. It has to make sense for me. It has to make sense for me right now. These properties here, and anything in Shore Acres, you know, is worth land value. I mean, I like, you know, I'm still open to buying in there, but it just would have to be pennies on the dollar. And with that being said, I would have to be, you know, mid to low 2s on something like this. And you know, she might say, like, I don't see why she wouldn't understand that, because if she's, you know, an agent or whatever, she's gonna see the same comps I'm seeing. You know, she has MLS access. She's gonna be seeing this one selling for 255. You know, you go on Realtor.com, you type in that address on Oklahoma Avenue, Northeast St. Pete. You're gonna see at least, you know, I would say 3 feet of drywall ripped out, flooring gone, all that type of thing, I mean, it might have a pool as well. Maybe that's why it's sold for a little bit higher. You know, I don't know. Most of the homes there have pools in that neighborhood. So we have 14 pictures to work from. You know, and there's there's like 4 other homes in the past 30 days that's sold. So
I guess the market is now, I guess people are coming to realization of knowing, okay, now it's November, right? The storm happened 1 or 2 months ago. Okay, I see what the comps are near me, and you know, am I still going to hold on to this and try to diamond hand, or just try to? This is their second home now. This is their second home, so they already have other homes.
Which are fortunate. Most people, you know, that would be their forever home, and they're you know, pretty much waiting for. I mean, they should have already gotten, maybe still in the process of getting a check from FEMA or not. I don't know. These pictures, I mean, they're not recent, obviously. This probably got listed right before the storm, obviously, so that's why I thought it was going to show flood damage, but yeah, it was listed because the storm. Yeah, it was listed for sale on May 14th, and the storm happened. There's two storms. I know the Milton was obviously the latest one, and that happened I think on the 9th of October. Um, so yeah, I mean, again, that's what that property is going to be worth. Unfortunately, I mean, it is what it is. For it to sell, I mean, it's going to be again mid to low twos in that
So
area.
there's no chance of trying to pitch her an ovation because I just learned that from Eric's last two Zooms, like the listing and then an ovation. And I told her what offers have they consider taking, would they be able to fix and flip opportunity? We can do an ovation on this house, and she said, explain that to me. They have an offer for 350. We're hoping to get closer to 400K, so it has to be under that rock bottom of around 2 to 3 is like what you were saying. But
Mhm.
I was going to try to talk to her on the phone about it, but I just don't feel as confident having that enough information to talk to her about it. But I don't think. I mean, this could be a deal maybe down the road, but I don't know if you could try to feel her out on this. And I know we did that. You helped me call the other one, but I was just curious if you could maybe call and I guess maybe talking about it more, unless somebody else has another property they want to talk about. I don't want to take up everyone's time. So
I mean, it's if you really need me to call, I mean, I could call. I mean, what I'm gonna have, I would not even worry about. I mean, not me personally. Like, sure you could go the novation route, but either way, I mean, they probably want their money now. I mean, I know it's not their primary residence or it's their secondary residence, but still, I mean, I would say resale value is going to be around 6. I mean, the best offer you could do. I mean, all you could really do is just call her up and say like, "Hey, look, this is where I need to be at." And see what see what the seller or the agent has to say. There's really nothing more you could really do with this one here. It's just because I already know where you need to be at, so there's no point of fighting. I mean, yeah, sure, they have some offer at 350, which is kind of ludicrous. I don't think it would sell for 350. We're looking right now. I mean, this one sold for 343. I mean, it has a pool. I don't know if it was waterfront or not. I don't think it wasn't waterfront. Probably has some photos after approved. Okay. Yeah, this one sold for 343. I don't know what this one had that the other ones didn't have, other than a pool. But I mean, that seems like pretty high. But any like true investor, like especially with something like this, is gonna have to be under 300 for sure. Like I said, like anything like if you get at mid twos, I mean, I should be able to move it without it being a problem. So just keep that in mind.
I'll say around mid twos, the highest, or mid twos to 250.
Mid to low twos is where you would need to be on a property like that to be worth my investors or any investors like time. No one's gonna look at anything higher than that really. I just tried this a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, and no one really wanted to. I was asking obviously a little bit more, but no one wanted to give me the time of day because I wasn't, exactly where they would like to be price wise. So, but yeah, I'm just telling you from experience.
No, thank you. I was gonna then ask, so your buy box, I'm just, I guess, learning more about different buy boxes. So, I guess what kind of prompt, I guess, do your buyers have or that they request from you?
Right. I mean, I was saying before, like, especially if it's been flooded at like a 0.6, 0.75, or sorry, 0.6, 0.65 of the ARV. So, that's currently for anything that's been damaged by the storm. If it's not damaged by the storm, you could go up to 0.7, 0.75. They buy in the Tampa Bay area. I have there's a thing on the Discord that shows you like location if you want to look at the, exactly what cities are that our buyers are in. We currently have a little bit under 500, things like 442 buyers in our list. We probably should add a little bit more, just more odds obviously to get it moved, but roughly I'd say 442 buyers in the Tampa Bay area that me and Eric have. But yeah, I mean, if it's if you want to run a deal by me first before you I guess commit to telling a seller a number or agent a number, just let me know and I could look and tell you. But that's they buy pretty much anything. Just the deal just has to make sense.
Okay.
Because the whole thing. One more time.
Sorry, those are 442, I guess, cash buyers and maybe
yeah.
Fine. Okay.
And right now it's like, no one knows what's like. Sure, you could, let's say you buy a property. This person bought a property for 250. There's no guarantee what, there's the insurance rates are going to go up, flood insurance, all that kind of, there's like kind of wishy-washy type of thing. Like it's a whole reset for anything that's been flooded. Because again, no, like the resale value, I mean, people might still buy there, but they might not buy at like, where they normally, like, let's say this home would sell for 600. Maybe it's not going to sell for 600 3 months down the road when it's renovated. It 3 months ago probably would have, but now it might be, might take a dip. So there's all this, it's really uncertainty. So that's exactly why, one of the reasons why people don't want to overpay for anything right now. So that's because,
Yeah,
again,
big gamble
it's
and
a
headache
gamble.
and
Before it was a gamble. It's a
It's
gamble
not.
practice, but now it's like, you don't know, because again, people like saw what happened to Shore Acres, saw what happened in St. Pete Beach, Treasure Island, all the major homes by the water that are low elevation be wiped out because of the storm. Insurance rates have been going up, and no one wants to invest their hard-earned money into and do like a 30-year mortgage with the chance that another hurricane could pass through 5 years from now. You know what I mean? So it's just like, that audience now, like everyone's pretty much not only, typical home buyers, like, husband, wife, but, you have buyers also looking too, that they don't even want to take that risk anymore. They want to just look at stuff that are not in a flood zone, so, deals that are not in a flood zone right now are hot. You could still move deals that aren't that are in a flood zone, but again, it has to be a heavily discounted for them to, give them for this investor to give the time of day.
Okay. Thank you. I was gonna ask, I guess, let's see. I've had a few off-market properties. I've used that pitch Eric said of, we're 10 million liquid, and do you have any properties that are either on or off market? It's worked a few times. I've gotten some off market that are in Venetian Isles over there, and there was one like for around 1 million or so, or that was going to list for 9, and she's, they get their phone blown up by a lot of wholesalers and people trying to pitch or lowball them. But I called her. This was about a few weeks ago, but I was a little nervous. It was my first 2 calls, and then what else happened? There was another one that was off market. It was on the water, and I submitted an offer there, and that was kind of my first time doing that. And I got asked if I was doing any other projects with Eric, and I asked him as partner. She said, "How many projects have you done?" And this is my first time kind of dealing with that challenging call, but so this is my first current one. I did this, part time, but just trying to go with the flow, and so I've encountered a little bit of that, and it's kind of been, I guess, just made me more nervous to hop on the call for that big confrontation, but slowly, I guess, just trying to work my way back into that.
Yeah. I mean, it's gonna take some time. Rome wasn't built in a day. So, I mean, I wish I, had a recording of my first, 5, 10 calls. I obviously don't. But it just comes with you just gotta earn your stripes. I mean, just gonna, just gotta say what you just write. And you could write down what you're gonna say. Sometimes even I do this sometimes. Like before I have like a big, somewhat call, maybe I already know it's going to be a no negotiation. I was already in talks with the seller, things like that. It's like, hey, I kind of like go run through like the first 10 seconds of the call, like in my head, or I say it out loud to like talking to myself, so that helps a lot. But all you can really do to get better is just, role play either with, someone in the Discord, or you can practice, just talking to yourself, or, giving, basically giving yourself a hard time, like you're being the agent and also the the wholesaler calling the agent, and just kind of seeing how that conversation flows, and using the same objections that sometimes the agent might hit you with, and then that's the only way you could really get better. And then after it's all said and done, you're going to be like myself or anyone else who's done this for a little bit, be able to make calls without having to like no script and right by you, or like no playbook, as Eric used to say, because we used to call them like our playbooks. But I just call somebody, it could be anyone. I just got to know, it could be a lead that you have, or it could be a lead that I have. I don't have any pen and paper. I just kind of just off the dome, and then just kind of just obviously listen to what they have to say, try to find the motivation, reason for selling, price that they thought of, that they want for the home, and kind of just use that, and remember that obviously I use a CRM system so I can keep track of all that kind of stuff, like how much they're getting in rent for their home or whatever the case may be. But still, obviously, just having a conversation where it's it's nice, it flows well. There's no like it's not awkward at any point. So I mean, you'll get there at some point.
Thank you. No, that's right. That's right. Yeah. Okay.
I feel you, bro, on that. Because I got a call that I'm supposed to be making. I've been 3 days late. I was supposed to call her like 3 days ago, but I've been terrified to call her because she's a little hard. But she's motivated to get rid of the property. She just, I don't know. She just has that attitude with her. I knew it was going to be a difficult call.
Yeah, sometimes it's I get that it could either be that deal fatigue or just deal what's another word for it, but just again it's it's going to be a tough call. You're just nervous, but so take a deep breath, practice what might happen on the call beforehand, and once you think. Because it's always nice to know, like, everyone's going to hit you with those objections. But if you kind of already know what the objection is going to be beforehand, like, oh, that's way too low. That's probably something that person might say that you haven't called yet. But, what you could go through with her and talk about is like, hey, look, sure, I would love to give you, $300,000 for the property. I mean, if I could, give that to you and also, it would be a good deal for myself. I would love to, any time of day, but just currently right now, just how the market is, like I could only make X amount, and you could you could list some comps. It's like, well, this one is the same square footage, same style home as yours, and it only sold for X amount. So like realistically, if you're telling me the home needs about 60K in work, if I do all the math here, it brings me to 240. I'm just I'm a numbers guy. It has to make sense for me. I mean, I would love to be a charity, but I'm not. It's just and you just keep talking to you. I know you don't. I don't. Some again, you have people that are that might work. You have people that every. It's just how anything is sales wise. I mean, what you could say to one seller might work on the one seller, but it might not work on somebody else. That's all you can really do. Then one thing too with being in the Discord like this, you could always team up with people if they're in the same markets, and maybe if you have somebody, or if you called somebody and it didn't go well, and maybe you could have another person call, treat it cold, and offer her lower than what you're offering her, or him, whoever the seller or agent is, and then maybe it's worth this much. Because if it's only one person offering that, maybe it's again, they might just fight them. But if it's like 3 or 4 people, they're getting offers around or lower than what you offer, then like they might have some realization to like, okay, maybe this is actually what the home is worth.
Have a few different viewpoints on the perspective of, oh, this person called in like that, they're trying to get this price, and what can we get their rock bottom to? And I was also going to say, I've been trying to do a lot of, I guess, subject to pitches of putting on some contingent offers of, before we can sign and do everything, the house, or we need to at least get it rented out for 30 days in advance prior to the closing date. And I would also try a lot of, I know Eric's talking about 0% down payment, 0% interest, and some people have laughed at that, and some people aren't really about it. And I don't know, have probably messaged over, or I do a lot of texts, and then sometimes I'll call them, but maybe over 100 different realtors and some for sale owners, just get more momentum and practice. But
yeah, it's also too, I mean, like 0% down, zero. I mean, it's not going to work with most people. I mean, you get lucky with those few sellers. I mean, if they're really not strapped for cash or anything like that, they're okay. Maybe you're doing 0% down, but you're overpaying by X amount. It might be worth their time. But in most cases, like they want like some skin in the game, they would call it like maybe 5% down, maybe 10. I would never go over 10% down. So you could use, maybe get a buyer in at 15% down. But I mean, they might, you could do little to no interest. I mean, so I do see, how someone could, you get a random call from, let's say someone like yourself, and you're pitching that to me, like I'm not gonna go for that, so it's not uncommon. You're gonna get rebuttal, obviously. So you might have to just change up. Just ask them, hey, like, what would you want? Like, I'm open to doing this, but obviously I could go through the bank, but I don't want to. Like, why go through and give the bank money? Just rather do a transaction between me and yourself. What percentage would you want down, and if we could do something potentially in the future, and just see what they say. And then if they say like, oh, like I would want 20% down, say, I don't know, Chris. I mean, I just feel like that's, I could obviously just get a loan for that amount. Are you sure? Is there any wiggle room on that percentage? Can you possibly do like, 15, 12%? Just do that, do it that way. And then it's like, and then again, you can talk same thing with the interest. Like, oh, I would probably want like, 6%. I mean, that's kind of what's going on. Like, it's if I go to Wells Fargo right now, I could get like a 7% interest. You can't, can you do 4? Can you do 3? And just go that way. So
I like how Eric says don't ever mention interest or down payment if you don't have to.
yeah. That works too. I mean, it works as well. But there are some people who do ask. So if there's a chance where they do ask, then it's like, oh, then they ask you that, throw it back on them real quick and see what you could get out of them.
Yeah, and I like your negotiation. Like, are you like you kind of like work with them on that? You're like, go get a loan for that. 20%.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And how is this going to? How can this benefit the seller? I don't want to give them a low ball offer, or I really don't like pitching seller finance. So what do you think we should do? And then that would kind of push. I know Richard Taylor's been using that lately, but I don't know. I see him occasionally. I was also going to say, I guess in my market, I'm in the Kansas City market, and I mean, I have some actual wholesaler buddies that I've worked with in the past, just from mutual friends in high school and stuff. So I see a bunch of them on the Facebook groups, and I just really don't have anybody else in the Kansas City market. Florida's beautiful, and I know you and Eric are buyers down there. You can easily dispo stuff, but I don't know. I guess I've kind of looked around the KC market here, and there's really not. I mean, there's definitely demand there. I mean, I also thought about getting on auto leads and paying that monthly subscription and using those filters Eric talking about, and just finding people who are getting their house, getting ready to repo and all those things. I just haven't done that. I've just been doing the old school thing of the Zillow listings, and I think I have somebody maybe interested in this.
And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with going on Zillow. I mean, that's how most people start on Zillow. But yeah, I mean, it could be old school. Like even by like my last deal I just found. I'm closing that one on the 22nd this month. It was on the way to like a park that I usually go to. And I saw the house. I called back in like I think it was like early October. And maybe might have been the end of end of September, early October. It was like right before the storm or whatever. And he said, yeah, it was an old school. He's like he's like probably like 70 years old or whatever. Same tenant's been there for like 20 something years. He said, yeah, she'll be out in November. I call him, in November, call him at end of October. He's like, yeah, she's coming out. Do you want to see it? End up seeing the house. And obviously he started out before when our first conversation happened, he wanted 250 or something, maybe I think it was like 250 is what he wanted. I was able to drop him to 200 and obviously able to wholesale it for a decent amount more. But yeah, I mean, that's something I found just driving for dollars. It could be, you just find a beat up house that in case was a beat up house, I call and see what happens. And, they're not all like that. Sometimes it's a little bit harder, but it was, I would say like a month and a half of, from finding the lead to closing, so that, you drive around in different neighborhoods, if you drive around places you go, you might see that same house that I'm explaining, just overgrown grass, beat up garage, the yard's overgrown. I already said that.
I've seen it. Yeah. On this weekly route that I go, I see the same house, but it's kind of in the middle of nowhere. I mean, there's a neighbor's house, and I can't really find the property address. It's distressed, and it's been sitting there for months. And there's this other little community, Waterford South. It's over here in Kansas City, but it's all built up and everything. It's got plywood and stuff, but I just know other real estate developers have gotten that. But this other one I drive by all the time, I just I need to put it into PropWire. I don't have PropStream. I use PropWire.
You can use Tree People Search too. You can use treepeoplesearch.com. It's free. You put in the put in the address, you put in the seller's first and last name, and the way how you would find the first and last name is by using whatever that, let's say, I don't know, for me, my property appraiser thing is it's for county. So like Pinellas County is the county I live in. So I would type in Pinellas County property appraiser. So it's and then it's, I don't know, like, I don't know what county, I don't know if it's Kansas City County property appraiser, I don't know, but type that in. Put this address in. That's how you would find the seller's first and last name. Go to Cheap People Search, put in the address, put in the seller's first and last name. You hit search. You find like all the 4 or 5 numbers that are linked to that address. You call them up. It could be the first number, it could be the 4th number. You never know. Sometimes I called up a lead for a property I found like 2 minutes down the road from me on Wednesday. I wasn't able to get in contact with the husband. I was able to get in contact with the wife, and it was the wife for the husband's parents' property. So, well, she asked me like, well, how'd you get my contact? It was like, well, no, I got your husband's thing. His mailbox was full, but the system I use only, it gathers all the associates, what relatives, whatever, is linked to the home, and yours is like, and your name ended up, being linked to your phone number. So, oh, okay, it makes sense, and we just kept going. I mean, if you just explain it, you got to be quick with what you say. But all you really do, I don't know, like most things I say, I mean, I'm telling the truth. I'm just, I'm being honest. But if you sound confident in whatever you say, I mean, it'll just go right, and then after, it's not like she first like, well, okay, well, what system did you use? Blah, blah, like, that she didn't really, try to dig into more information. It's just like she wanted to know that. I gave her that answer, right, a snap of the finger, and then just on to, okay, so what's the situation on that? And obviously, 2 days later, here we are. I talked to her yesterday. She was going to talk to her husband and see, because they both want to sell. But it's just 2 minutes down the road. I might take that one on for myself. Depends on where we agree on price. I know where I want to be, but I mean, that might not be the case for the husband, but I have to have a conversation with him and see how it goes. But I know they don't want the home. They live an hour away from the home. It's his parents' home. Their parents are no longer with us. So, and you already paid for the probate. So you already went to that's part of the steps. I mean, you want to, if it's ever in a state, to be legally able to sell the property, it has to go through probate. So he's already the representative for the estate. So he already did that. So it's like, I was going to use that as a pitch, because usually, I tell sellers when it's in the States, like, hey, I could take care of the probate for you guys, no extra, no added cost, because you want to use that to entice them to kind of want to go with you. But the wife told me, it's like, oh no, we already did that. My husband's the representative. I was like, oh, okay, you already. I said to her, like, that's half the battle. That was the conversation I had with her yesterday. But yeah, like I said, I mean, just Cheap People Search is a good way to get those numbers. I mean, you don't have to pay for anything. It's free. It's not like PropStream or PropHire where you have to pay like 10 or 12 cents. So just use that to your advantage, and you'll start seeing some results if you just are consistent with it. There could be a house right by you, you don't even know. But again, just gotta it has to fit those categories to, like, beat up, distressed, overgrown grass, maybe a boarded up window, all that kind of stuff. Abandoned car, maybe, you just call them and see what's up.
Like how you have
helping the city and just, I guess,
cards were also.
Oh, sorry, both of you guys were talking. I don't know who was going first.
Yeah, just saying Terrell's got a card, so he drops it. Do you like post it on people's mailbox or door?
So I would knock on, even if it does look abandoned, I still knock on the door, because you never know. There could be like, I've done that sometimes with actually someone living in the home. You'll be surprised. I mean, people live in like some terrible conditions. When I don't know why, but I mean, it could be a multitude of different reasons. Either way, I knock on the door, wait a few minutes. If they don't answer, then I leave my card, like, in the crease between the door, or maybe like under, like at this, like, so if it doesn't fit like in the slot where the door and meets the thing, then I put it, like, if they have a mat, I'll put it like under the mat so you can kind of see it, if they open their door. So So yeah, the card. If you go to Vistaprint, buy a bunch of cards. I mean, my cards say Terrell buys houses. It has a whole bunch. Like my phone number's there. Everything's as is. No additional fees. We'll pay for referrals. All that kind of stuff is on there. As is, any condition. Yeah. So I don't think there's anything else really. But yeah, I mean that's all you really need to do. I mean, probably like $20 gets you like 100 cards or something off Vistaprint. So I keep a stack of cards in my car. I have I have like a card behind me, like behind my phone case. So if I'm not by my car, like someone needs that card real quick, I would just take my phone case off and give them my card. So things like that. So that helps too. So and you might get calls back, you might not, but it's still you're making that effort. So
Do you think it works better than like email or Facebook?
to get in contact with sellers, I would
Yeah.
use.
People like call you and say like, "Oh, I found your number on a card." More.
Yeah, I never tried email. I never tried Facebook. I've only used, text. I've used card. I've used calling. That's the only way they would hear from me. But I never tried email. I mean,
Which do you think works best? Calling.
for me, I like talking on the phone. I really don't care. Like, it could be so phone or text. Mostly, like on the phone calling them. If let's say if I like the property and I really I skip traced it. I have 4 numbers. Let's say that generated from Tree People Search. None of the numbers work. If I live close by, I have no problem driving to the property, knock on the door, and seeing what's up. Some people might not do that. Yeah. That's really old school. But I mean, sometimes it gets that be surprised how effective that is. Because again, it just puts it's automatically they put a face to the name. So it's very powerful. Again, not it's every person's different. There's people that just it's 15, 20 years ago, answering the front door was like people love doing it. Nowadays, people really don't care less. They'll just let it. They just don't answer. But still, I leave my card there. They want to call me, they can, and we'll try to make something happen. If
Like
they're
hitting the walking around is one of your best. You think
one more time.
hitting the pavement like walking?
Driving around. I mean, I mean, my past 2 deals have been the one that have closing on the 22nd. That was from driving to where I was going to. I wasn't even driving for dollars. I don't really technically drive for dollars. I go to where I'm going. Sometimes it's a different route I take just to see. Like, for example, I took a route yesterday, and I just wanted to explore my neighborhood more. So I did that it was 2 days ago. So I did that 2 days ago, and obviously, like I said, I had that conversation with that person who lived an hour away, and that was her husband's parents' house, and blah blah blah. So I found that house just by driving around a different spot to get into my neighborhood. So I would say that works. You'll be surprised. I mean, sure, you could go do the route everyone else does, and target homes with high equity, target homes with that are in pre-foreclosure, target homes with liens on them. But driving for dollars, it's not it shouldn't be neglected entirely. You still get some deals off there.
Sweet. Yeah, I remember Eric talking about how he put signs up. You can get like good nail them up really high so they can't get too much.
Yeah, bandit signs. Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of those, especially because of the hurricane. So been seeing some bandit signs around this intersections and stuff like that, whether it be like for drywall repair, or for roofing, or for we buy a house. I've been seeing like those 3 things because of the storm more common now.
And I like how he says like they're more hot leads, like people who are calling you are calling because they have something to sell, kind of.
Yeah, exactly. So whenever you call, whenever they call, sorry, it's a nice, because they want to they're calling for a reason. So it's always good to answer those random phone calls. I answer them because I don't know, it could be a random number calling me from a card I left somewhere. So I always try to keep my phone on me. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll probably do that. We'll probably get some more phone numbers out there. Get some people to try to call us more inbound.
All right. That's good. Just, hopefully that, it goes well. Should just be consistent. I mean, it's not gonna, happen right away. Sometimes it does, and someone, you're lucky. Other times it might take a month, it might take 3 months, you just never know.
Yeah, Investor List sends me like stuff every single day, so I'm always sorting through like which are good deals or not.
Yeah.
EMPs, like cost to get in, cash on cash. It's kind of how. So, Investor List has been changing the game a little bit, I think, as far as like inbound. But
Yeah.
I haven't actually used any leads off Investor Lift. I've followed up on some, but never actually purchased anything yet. It's too new.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I'm working on that one. See how it works out.
All right. Yeah. Keep me posted. Definitely, curious to know how that goes. Any other questions, guys? Anything else you guys got going on? Not, we could end the Zoom.
Sorry, I brought up this one. This is, unless you gotta go. This is just I actually have the guy's phone number, but it's a townhome, and he just needs to get it sold.
Okay. So what did you look at the numbers? I mean, or what's your game plan with this?
I had a subject to deal for him, and I don't think it'll work out because I need to rent it more than because the HOA is kind of killing the deal there, unfortunately.
Yeah, sometimes sometimes it's always like that with the HOA, especially where I don't know for other places, but I know for my area, like a lot of condo HOAs, townhouse and HOAs are going up a ton, so it kind of kills. We could really make, cash flow wise on a transaction on like a potential deal like this. But so you already presented numbers to him and everything, or like I just don't know. You just sent me this address.
No, I did not. I was going to, but I just wanted, I guess, another perspective of if it's worth, I guess, just dealing with, because the rent's gonna have to be more than what it's gonna be going for. I have it written down somewhere. I just randomly brought it up, but wasn't fully prepared. Sorry.
Gotcha. Yeah. If the rent is going for, and I don't know how much, I would have to look to see, spend the time and look to see how much, what you could potentially rent this out for, and if try to find out, if you haven't already, try to find out his payment and all that kind of stuff. So we have that, and we already, the only thing we could really tell is that it's $319 a month for the HOA, but everything else is kind of up in the air. So we got to find how, if he wants, Sutter wants to share. How much the payments are. If he's open if he's open to that, if he's open to sub 2, getting creative with the deal, then I would. The next thing is like asking him is, okay, all right, just I have to make sense because I have to pay you X amount per month, blah blah blah. If you're willing to hold the, in this case it's still, there's still a mortgage, but anyway, but still just wanting to know what that payment is. What that interest is, all that kind of stuff. You got to find out first before really presenting
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the only way I could pay $1,200 a month for that is if the HOA is included in that payment.
Yeah, it's most likely not. It's separate.
So in this case, if it comes up to $1,500 a month, you have to rent it for at least $2,000 a month, and that's only making that's a minimum, probably 20.
Yeah. So this one might not be worth your time, but who knows? I mean, I'm just kind of, I didn't really look into it further to.
I would do a continual offer. If you show it to somebody and they take it for $2,500 a month, then you got to give it to, you can give him the $1,500. That'd be $1,200 to him. That's his full ask, amortized over 30, and then you give him the $319 HOA on top of that. That's $15 total out of your pocket, but you're pulling $25. You're pulling $2,500 out of the rent. That's what I would tell him.
Yeah.
Since that's the deal, I'd shoot him.
Gotcha.
Because if you take that at full ask, you can sell it to him. He can get the sale. $430. You amortize it 30 years, 0 down, 0 interest, whatever. It comes out to $11.94. So like right under $1,200. And then $319 on top of that goes to $1,200 plus $319. It's about $1,500 bucks. And then so if you rent it for $2,500, in the first 30 days before close, and you get that lease signed for $2,500 a month, then it'll be really easy to pay him that $1,500.
And use the EMD from the renter for
Yeah.
the first month and last of the lease, and that zero money out of pocket.
Yep. So I'm marking it for $2,500 a month for rent.
It's saying
Based on
here.
marketplace, hot pad, Zillow rent. How much? What does it say?
Oh, it's saying. Oh, is it? Wait, maybe I'm trying to 174 Terrace 174.
I have his number. I found it on Nextdoor just randomly looking, but
Yeah, is it a quad? Is it or no? It's just a regular townhouse.
yeah, just a regular townhouse. Yeah.
Gotcha. I mean, I don't have time to call now because I gotta get going. But I mean, if you want
I
to,
do appreciate it.
if you're open to calling him and just seeing, we just got to find out what that information is. So, I mean, for sure I could call every thing you present to me, but the only way for you to truly get better is to call, get those, at least touch the lead first. Kind of find out the situation, gather the information. If you're stuck, then I'll help you out with the rest. But it's not going to be beneficial for you or anyone else to just look at something and like, oh, okay, this looks like it has potential, and then just send it. You know what I mean? So like,
Right.
you want to at least get familiar with calling and having a conversation. That's the only way you're going to truly get better. I mean, it's kind of like tough love, but I mean, Eric did it for me, and obviously, it worked out. But you just gotta get your confidence in calling these types of potential leads here.
Yeah, I'm fine talking to people face to face in person. I have no problem. It's just kind of over the phone. It's kind of hard unless I have it planned out. But totally.
Yeah, I guess I just talking. It might just be beneficial to just talk the conversation through before it happens. Like it's like, hey, how you doing? Like, if you haven't talked, like, hey, let's say I don't know his name or whatever, but like, hey, my name's Terrell. I was looking to speak to the owner of 174 Terrace over here in I don't know how to pronounce that city, but anyway, video like, oh yeah, this is the owner. It's like, hey, it's my first thing is it's still available. He or she might say yes or no. So if it's available, awesome, great. So what's the story on this one here? I mean, it looks like looks like blah blah blah. It looks like a great home. Like, what's the story on this? Why are you getting rid of it? And then that right there is like, what's the story on it? That's really kind of helps you break the ice, gets them talking, gets their guard down because they're explaining maybe their situation, why they're selling, all that kind of stuff. So that when they're talking about themselves, it again just automatically brings their guard down. So asking somebody what's the story on this, it could be to a seller, to an agent, or what, asking the agent, what's the situation on this one here? I mean, looks like it needs some work, or what's the situation on this one here? It looks like was this like a rental for the seller, or what? I just, even if it's a stupid question, you just always get to ask, because again, it just helps you bring their wall down and then start.
You can just tell them, look, I can give you full ask, but I need access to it for the first 30 days. That make sense?
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah.
And then start marketing and start showing it. Try to get $2,500 a month in there. And that's how I do it. But just get access. Just basically command, requests, however you want to do it, but get the access. First priority.
All right. Yeah. All right, guys. I gotta see that.
Yeah,
I appreciate your time, Joel. Really
Yeah.
appreciate it.
It's been a pleasure. I'll see you guys. Call on the weekends. Definitely don't neglect calling tomorrow. I try not to call too many people on Saturday unless it's like something that I'm already working. On Sunday, unless it's something I'm already working. But especially on Saturday, that's a good time to reach somebody. So hopefully you guys can do that. If you guys need any help, I'll put my name in the chat here. You can reach out to me on Discord. I'll try to get to you guys as soon as I can. Forgive me if I take too long because I'm doing my own things too, and I'm also helping other people. So, but I will get to your questions if you guys message me directly there. But yeah, in the meantime, have a good rest of your Friday. Have a good rest of your weekend. I'll continue with my next Zoom on Monday from 11 to 12. Look forward to seeing you guys there.
Love it, Terrell. Have a good one.
Yep. Take care.
Bye.